on my way now. I'm on my way now.
My sidekick's with me yet again. She's just about to have her, day nub. It's like the best time of the day. The sun just peers through here. I thought, you okay? I thought I'd give you an update. I've had a couple of questions on our veggie garden, fruit and veg, and I thought I would just talk you through the things that we are growing in our home. We've got a lot out the front, which I'll try and share with you as well. But we're growing like blueberries, strawberries. Actually, I'll take you up the top first, because although I'm pretty sure a possum got to it, we ended up purchasing this up here. Is a cherry tomato, yum, cherry tomato plant. It was full of flowers and it's been chomped, and I'm pretty sure it's by a possum. But we have that we're trying to grow. I actually want to get different pots. I just don't think this pot here is going to work. I think this is lavender. I can't remember. We did have seedlings over here that just haven't taken off. This is actually my very small but growing really well olive tree, fruiting olive tree. Got lots of new growth coming in up there. Alright, before we go downstairs, let me show you more up here. I have got rosemary in a pot here. The same over here, doing really well. I tend to cut this back quite like dramatically every couple of months, and I give some to like our neighbours, or I dry it myself. In a hanging basket up here, I've got strawberries that are actually, they were doing really well. I've got a lot of new growth coming through. The kids have eaten all the strawberries. And then in this one, we've got similar. I've got a strawberry plant in there that's actually doing really well. I've actually got a runner, so I need to cut and replant that. And we planted tomatoes in this one too, little cherry tomatoes. So hanging baskets are ideal. This one's probably a bit over full. I might even take like the strawberry plant out and put it into, we've got 4 hanging baskets up here, but maybe put it into like this one. I had a plant that I had to remove from it being diseased, so maybe I'll put some cherries, some strawberries into this hanging pot. Alright, veggie garden down the back. Kids have got their mud kitchen, which I'm just about to pave. I had grass underneath, this didn't work, so I'm going to pave. But looking at the veggie garden that we built ourselves from really cheap material, we did purchase that brand new. We've got a room being built out the back here, and just about to do the greenhouse, made a bunch of changes to it, so kind of started again. But in this bucket here, I planted some ginger. Apparently ginger can take like 9 months to bulb and sprout, so big pot here. My fingers are crossed that it's eventually going to sprout, because it is a huge space where I potentially could put other things into. I have 2 pots here that I actually need to drill like holes in the bottom of them, because they just fill with water with all the rain that we get, and every plant I've had in there literally drowns. So holes in the bottom of those, and I'm not too sure what to put into them, to be honest. I'm thinking of transferring some of the parsley. I've got like loads of parsley that has grown through here, so maybe I could like put some parsley into them. I'm not too sure. This is, now these are all growing from seeds, and I did not expect them to take off this well, but this is cauliflower. I haven't actually got like the edible vegetable part coming out yet. Like I've still got parsley just popping up everywhere, but this is like overflowing. Some are like the heroes. This one here is probably the best for the cauliflower, and then over here is broccoli. They're the same leaf, so it is hard to tell where the line sort of finishes, but I've got lots and lots of broccoli growing in through here, which has now been taken over by my enormous tomato plant. Now, the owner before us, she actually had, it was really quite unusual. The whole backyard was covered in like really awkward layouts of let's just squat down, that sun's a bit bright, it's a little bit better, of garden beds. So we had to move them, but they were full of, we had to bulldoze a whole lot down. But she had so much fruit and veg in the backyard, and she had a worm farm and composting. So we kept some of it, we gave to friends and family, they dug things out. But randomly one day, you'll see over the fence line over here, we've got no grass because we need to put a trenching through running power out the back. This random tomato plant started growing, so I pulled it out the ground and planted it. It was literally about this big, and it's turned into a huge tomato plant that I've kind of trimmed, like pruned, because they say you need to prune the bottom leaves because it stops disease. But we've got so many flowers coming through. I've got multiple tomatoes. I don't know if this is a cherry tomato vine or a normal tomato vine, but I've got tomato. They'll come into being tomatoes. Flowers are just everywhere, and I can confirm I've had bees, so these are being well pollinated with from bees. This plant's got, it's actually doing really well, like overhanging, doing really well. And I do have, it's getting a lot of shade now because it's just gotten so thick in here, but I do actually have a tomato, there we go, in there. That one's actually growing quite well. It hasn't gotten a lot bigger, so I'm thinking this might be a cherry tomato plant. So I'm trying to grow things that we eat. We eat a lot of tomatoes. We love broccoli. I thought I'd try cauliflower. I love ginger, and parsley's great for like summer salads and that kind of thing. So I think I need to thin this out. I feel like it's been overtaken by some. So some of my bed, this bed here is probably doing a bit too well, and I probably do need to thin it out and like spread it out to some other spots, but I'll just keep walking you through. We planted lettuce in here, and then one type of onion, and then another type of onion. These are really, they haven't done much. This is kind of it. I don't know if they're waiting for spring. This gets a lot of shade here because of this, but I'm thinking that's a good thing for when summer comes. So we had onions here, lettuce here, and then onions here, and literally all of the lettuce started taking off, so we kind of spread it out. We did have strawberry seeds and lavender seeds, and none of them took. It happens. I'm not the best gardener. I just try and hope for the best. So we spread the lettuce out. So you'll probably see this actually gets a lot more sun compared to these ones under here. Planted the same time, so these get better shade. These get a lot more sun, which is kind of good because now I kind of know how things run in winter. That's probably going to be a great spot coming into summer. So harvest these ones first, the lettuce. And then in summer comes, because it can get dang hot where we are, this is probably a great spot for them to finish growing. I've read up that having flowers in your garden, in your veggie garden, helps pollinate. It attracts bees and butterflies and that kind of thing. So I took this from the front yard and put it out the back. And a few weeks ago, if you watch like my reels or my shorts that I do, I randomly threw some chili seeds in. And these are all little chili plants. Is that all I've gotten for here? Starting to take off. My kids have been playing in here with the rocks. That's a weed. I've done a little bit of reading as well around having like mulch, but I just don't know how am I supposed to like mulch that, and is there any point in putting mulch in that? The only thing I have learned is when I built these garden beds, I had like bark on the bottom, and the tree that we took down, bits of tree and timber and that kind of thing, and then we put dirt on top. The dirt was filled up to here, and it's like dropped almost a whole hand significantly. So I probably could have let the beds rest for a bit more, and I probably could have had the garden beds like sitting more up here. They've probably dropped like 2 inches. I'm guessing that's okay. Down here I planted a mint. I think it was getting too much sun. either that or the same problem, this pot has no holes in it, so I need to drill some holes. But I'm very aware that you cannot, or do not, highly recommend, do not put mint in a garden bed. It will just take over. I love mint. I find it really refreshing. I've got a few little sprouties coming up there. Same with this. I found like a tiny little sprig over in that dirt patch. So I pulled it out, planted it, and this is what it's turned into. But I think it's not crunchy, so it's not dry from the sun. I think it's too wet. So this was actually sitting up here getting too much shade, so I put it down here to get a lot more sun, hoping it'll work. I planted bulbs in this one and bulbs in that one, again pollinating, attracting bees and honey, and they started sprouting like in winter. So I kind of just went, okay, cool, whatever, and then they kind of stopped and didn't do anything. What bulbs they are, I cannot remember. I think that might be like a new shoot starting to come, but yeah, they just got like this, and then that was it. So I can't remember the bulb it is, so I don't know if this is normal or not. And then I planted, just picking out a nice good weed, because that can definitely go. The cat or the bush turkey dug up that one, so I'm assuming the bulbs are still in there, like the tops just got like scratched out. So I'm just continuing to water it and hoping for the best. They look really sad but like the soil is wet, so I don't know. First time doing bulbs. It's a bit unusual, a bit different for me. This is probably the kids' favourite spot over here, is actually growing the potatoes. I literally let a couple of potatoes go off or grow eyes in our potato bin upstairs, and then we bought these off of eBay or Amazon, and we've got the 3 of them sitting there and they're sprouting really good. I think potatoes are great for kids because they basically watch the leaves grow, and then as soon as the leaves die, they can harvest the potatoes. So we've got 1, 2, this one's actually doing really well, 3, and then a new one's coming up through there. The leaves on this one, they're definitely different than this one and this one. So I'm guessing I've got a different type of potato here compared to those ones, but they're doing really well. Originally in this spot here, I was going to put like a little water tank in, but I thought I'm probably better off putting more fruit and veg in, so we got the baskets there. I could have I could have put 2 of these on this side here. 1, I ran out of the timber. I got that really cheap off of Marketplace. And 2, I wanted to put other things in, like the compost bin and then potentially the water tank. And this part here is actually going to be our, what am I calling it? Greenhouse. So just, I finally figured out how to make it work properly. So we're just going to have to kind of start again, but that's okay. And then the last one up here is actually the lemon tree. No flowers, which I thought I would have had flowers by now, but lots of new shoots. I purchased this. Oh, hang on. There's a flower. There's a little bud. The buds are coming through. Perfect. We purchased this one. It was probably about that big, like it hasn't done a lot of growing. So that one we purchased big, and we purchased these flowers here, which have been fantastic. The bees love these ones here. I don't know if I should go and like dehead all of these little things or just leave it, but it just keeps pulling, like all these fresh little buds keep coming through. I don't know what this is called. I literally went to the bunning section and I found a flower, this, and it said great pollinating flowers, so grabbed that. In this garden bed here, I had nothing. It was empty. So we had an onion that was over sprouting, so I dug a hole, buried it, and this has come out. I actually think I have 2 onions growing, but you can cut these and use them as like a spring onion. In here, like I need to sneeze. In here, I actually planted some garlic. I had a garlic bulb upstairs. Excuse me, from what I read, they're like, yeah, you just pull off each little clove and bury it. I've done that. Apparently it takes months for it to do anything. So I'm hoping something comes through there. When I was thinning out the lettuce, I put some over here. I'm surprised it hasn't done better. I feel like the lettuce there is, oh, hang on, see, that there is actually snapped. I'm gonna have to like reinforce that with something. There's a lot of weight with the dirt. I've learned a lot about these planter boxes. They're fantastic. They've done a great job. But I feel like I should have put like another pole down here. But anyway, these lettuces are doing good, getting great sun, but they're doing amazing. And the ones I put over there get a lot of sun, and they're probably similar size to like these. These ones get the least amount of sun. Super tiny, really big and lush, kind of in between. And these ones, I thought they would have done better. This box definitely dries out quicker than the other two, so I'm very mindful of that. I did put in cucumber seeds here. Nothing happened. Maybe it was a sterile cucumber. We took it from the grocery store. But here we have more chili. So again, I had a bunch of chili seeds and I just basically threw them all down. So heaps of chili plants coming up. I mentioned I found coriander just growing again over in that dirt patch over there. So I pulled it out the ground and I've planted it. I'm doing my best to keep it alive. I think this pot gets a lot of sun from lunchtime onwards, and it might be too much over here. So this is kind of like my experimenting sort of section here. So there's not a lot in this one at all. It kind of looks a bit sad when you go from my best growing pot over here, and I want to thin this out, but I'm too scared to move it over to here because the sun is different. Not too sure. And then we have our composting bin, which is really full. I need to start, well, we put stuff in there the other day. I need to start like reducing down. Let's just do a turn and have a squeeze. Like, that's looking really good. So really good compost that I can start to like fill the beds up with. I still don't know how to mulch. Like, I don't know how I'm going to end up mulching that in there. Kids have got their watering can. I've got my watering can, and then don't mind the watering of the garden. And then the mudroom here. So the idea is I'm going to pave here, put this in. I picked this up on Marketplace really cheap about 3-4 weeks ago. Maybe a bit longer. So we sanded it all back. We're going to end up painting it probably like white or grey. The kids have got their place up under here. This is actually a functioning tap, so you just got to connect behind. There's like proper plumbing where I can connect the hose to, and then the idea is that the kids can harvest their fruit and veg, wash it and prep it. I'm also going to get like little hooks and hang some pots off of here, and the kids can have like herbs hanging off of there. So maybe like some basil, maybe some more mint. What kind of things do we have, like chives and that kind of stuff, or more strawberries. Now out the front we do have more fruit out the front. I've got 3 lots of blueberries. 2 are the same and 1 is different, and the 2 in the pots are starting to flower, and the 1 in the garden bed is full of blueberries. We're just waiting for them to turn blue. And then we have more strawberries downstairs. The kids love the strawberries because they can see once they turn red they can pick them, and we usually get a couple of strawberries a day. We have quite a few. So I'm actually thinking on the mudroom kitchen area to have strawberries just sort of like hanging down and fill it so the kids can really enjoy it. So my kids love gardening. They love coming into this area and looking at things and watering. I can't wait until the greenhouse is built, because we can put like seedlings in there and have plants growing there and vines and their tools and their gloves and all that kind of stuff. But we just wanted to try and do something ourselves. I love gardening, and having just something like this in your backyard, we are lucky. We have a fairly decent sized backyard and we were able to have the room to do this. But even just having a pot like this and having it full of different herbs, or having just like 1 or 2 of these growing and watching how a broccoli or a cucumber or a tomato forms and grows and when to pick it, I love it, my kids love it, and I bought these from seeds. So the seeds for the cauliflower, I think it was like $2, and I've got a lot. I've got a lot in here, to the point where if I wanted to, like, be a bit like business savvy, I could literally pop these up and sell them for like even like $2 each. I recover my money instantly by selling 1 or 2 of them. So even like a great gift for like Christmas. So if you were planting this and you had an oversupply, pick like one of your good ones and you could give it as like a birthday gift or something like that, in like a nice little pot for someone. But that is the veggie garden and how we are sort of functioning at the moment. I am not an expert. I have not fertilized these. I have not pesticided these. I'm just taking it as it comes. The only thing that is struggling at the moment is that tomato plant upstairs. I swear the possums just saw it the other night and thought, delicious. I'm surprised they haven't come down here and gotten into this one, because this is wild. But that is our veggie garden. So after all the questions on what have you got and how are you doing it, that is an update on where we're up to. I'm hoping I can get some tomatoes, soon to pick for the kids. They would love it. And every day we are down here composting. Kids are looking, we're weeding, we're doing things after school. The kids might be like on the trampoline while I'm in here doing stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I am going to share the process of the greenhouse being built. I do have a video and I shared the process of the garden beds being built and filling it. It's taken months. It wasn't just we build it in a day. And again, we were very savvy. This pot was free. A couple of pots we paid for, which were the 2 in the middle. The timber I got for next to nothing off of Marketplace. I got the watering cans second hand, but we did pay for the compost bin brand new. I could have bought a second hand one, but I was like, oh, it's had compost in it and I have to put that in the back of my car, and none of them smelt clean because it's a compost bin. So we decided to go new with that. That was from Bunnings. And then the bags down the back we have gotten from eBay or Amazon. The greenhouse we're building is actually going to be for free. I have found windows off of Marketplace for free, and we have timber from our demo work, so for free. So I'm hoping we are going to be able to build a greenhouse completely, shelving everything for free, and then maybe as these seedlings grow we could do like an exchange with like neighbors or in our neighborhood or friends if they've got other fruit and veg, and we can have more things growing in the garden. But that is the update. I've had so many questions asking about it, so I thought I would just do a walkthrough with you. I'll probably do an update in like in a couple of months when we start to harvest things maybe. If you're a green thumb and can share any tips or insights, please do. This is just our little fun thing we're doing in the backyard. Whether we have actual food we can harvest or not, I enjoy being outdoors and the process and having kids out here. I absolutely love it. But that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk soon.
I've been trying my best for a while, trying to please everyone who's around me. I've been putting on a fake smile, even though I'm wasting time. I don't wanna be trapped in a box, trying to be like the rest when I'm not. I just wanna go my